Does the Emperor's Judgment replace his Vengeance? New meta. For those on the PTS, do you prefer Emperor's Judgment, the new Column 3 perk, or Emperor's Vengeance, the current meta Column 3 perk? Emperor's Vengeance, killing a Majoris level or higher enemy, stores your primary weapon's ammo by 1 magazine. Pretty sure we all know what Emperor's Vengeance does. Emperor's Judgment. After a finisher, the equipped range weapon reloads automatically, and your primary weapon deals 20% more damage for 10 seconds. 10 seconds is okay. Note that Emperor's Judgment replaces Final Shot, which only applies the reload portion of the reworked perk. Interesting. I'm prestiging Tactical currently with the Bolt Carbine SMG, and the Final Shot perk along with the weapon perk for free reloads on gun strikes basically means I never have to reload. Combine this with Battle Focus and Acuity and you just rip through Majoris. So I think Judgment might be better than Vengeance, but I want to know what the PTS players think. Thanks. Interesting. I do think, honestly, Emperor's Judgment does sound pretty good. Now, here's the thing. Emperor's Vengeance is always going to be meta for Tactical, simply due to the fact that ammo regeneration is incredibly important. Ammo regeneration is not only good for DPS, obviously, or, consistently being able to have ammo for DPS, but honestly, being able to regenerate your ammo is huge because of contested health. So as long as you have ammo, you have a good chance to get your contested health back. And I mean, 20% extra damage is pretty good, but the fact that Tactical has scan, I think ultimately that means that, the 20% extra damage is probably less useful than the other scan buff perks. And ultimately, Vengeance is obviously going to be the perk that Tactical is going to end up gravitating towards because you already have a lot of extra damage. Honestly, Emperor's Judgment is pretty cool. To be completely honest, I would like this weapon, or not this weapon, but this perk for a different class. Not 100% sure which class could take it. Maybe Vanguard, maybe the Assault class, but to be completely honest, I have been enjoying ample ammunition. I think the Assault actually has a fair amount of range damage as well. It just doesn't have scans. So ultimately, the Assault class can still put up pretty good numbers, but it's not going to put up as many damage numbers as the Tactical does. So I don't know. This is kind of interesting. Emperor's Judgment seems like a pretty good perk, to be completely honest. It's just kind of not necessary for Tactical. And also, in the order of the column, I believe Emperor's Vengeance would be the last perk on the column. I'm pretty sure it is. So Emperor's Judgment you can get pretty early, and I think Emperor's Judgment is probably good for leveling. But ultimately, Emperor's Vengeance is where you're going to stick once you're Prestige 4 and fully leveled up. I just think Emperor's Vengeance is going to be the defining factor of completing Siege mode. And then ultimately, again, Emperor's Judgment, 20% more damage for 10 seconds. I'd rather have the more ammo, I think. It's just 10 seconds is fine. 20% more damage is fine. I just think another class could have used this, to be completely honest. I wonder if the Assault has any useless perks. If it does, just replace that. Honestly, the Assault perks are pretty good right now, but to be completely honest, I could definitely see Emperor's Judgment being better on Vanguard or the Assault class, one of those, right? But yeah, let's see how people react to this. Let's see how people basically use this in the PTS. But yeah, ultimately, Vengeance is going to be really hard to replace. Not playing on PTS, playing on my calculator, alright. Up to Ruthless, sure, why not? I played with the Final Shot, and its nice quality of life perk. It can definitely be very fun to go for full burst damage, but if you just run Battle Focus and Relentless Pursuit, you have more than enough. Yeah, Battle Focus is so good. But meta, just know, if you run an op for every 25 minutes and benefit from Emperor's Vengeance once per minute, you can earn up to 3 to 4 times your starting ammo on most weapons. Holy cow, yeah, that's one way to put it. Which is likely more than 20% ammo over the total you get at the start and from ammo boxes / crates. And that's ammo that benefits from your other damage perks. Other damage buffs. Same thing. Also, by improving your ammo economy, you improve your squads too. Oh, yeah, that's true, because, yeah, you're picking up less ammo. Yeah, I mean, he's right. Playing on the calculator is one way to put it. But yeah, ultimately, that's pretty wild. I never really contextualized Emperor's Vengeance in the sense, like, you actually get 4 times the ammo just having this perk equipped. That is kind of insane to think about. And then, overall, it would be like, what? Kind of like, you would get 10 seconds worth of 20% more damage here and there, which is pretty good, I think. But I just think Acuity is probably better. Interesting. Tactical's so good, man. It has so many damage options. Please put Emperor's Judgment into a different a different class. That would be cool, right? Ammo economy is king, 100% on tactical. I almost never find an insta reload worth it if it's not already on a weapons perk, and more ammo leads to higher than 10% damage increase in almost all games that last longer than a single encounter. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously having more ammo is going to lead to more damage, 100%. I mean, yeah, that's solidified. Emperor's Vengeance will forever be meta. Yeah, but seriously though, it's honestly such a good perk. Dude, to be completely honest, Emperor's Vengeance should be a prestige perk on more classes too. It's kind of weird that we kind of like, I mean, you know what? Honestly, it's fine for class identity, but it is kind of weird that like tactical just gets all these like basic damage boost perks that you feel like could fit for like any other class. Like, hey, if you get an execution, boom, 20% more damage. Headshots, boom, 3% more damage for each headshot. Like, a lot of that stuff kind of feels like it could definitely be useful on other classes. And then, not to mention, tactical already has scan. So, yeah, tactical is going to be very powerful. I might do a patch 8 class tier list, but I think ultimately every class is in a good spot, so it, you know, and honestly that last tier list definitely was mostly about the reworks. So the fact that we don't really see too many reworks, we only see like a few perks buffed here and there, I think largely the classes that are good are going to stay good, you know what I mean? So I don't know, maybe I'll do a tier list. But yeah, ultimately, tactical could definitely be at the top of that, considering how much more utility the tactical gets, and then ultimately the tactical still gets a lot of damage, which is nice. But yeah, the utility I'm referring to is the grenade regeneration. The fact that tactical is getting a new team perk that regenerates grenades is insane. Like, that's huge. That potentially puts tactical at like the top of siege mode tier lists. But I think what would be interesting is the fact that, you know, tactical doesn't have any health regeneration. So maybe that plays a part into if tactical becomes the best class for siege or is just a little bit short of it. But hey, ultimately, I'm super excited for it. Yeah, let's when this perk comes out, I will definitely be trying it out. I'm just not too sure if it'll be healthy enough to replace Emperor's Vengeance. I just don't see that happening. If there's one thing tactical has, it's too much damage. He really doesn't need more damage, and you hardly use ammo if you wait for a parry. It takes like 5 shots to explode a major's head. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, tactical's in a good spot. Tactical's in a good spot. Now, there seems to be a lot of tactical hype. There seems to be a lot of hype in general for some of these new perks. And I do think the fact that these new perks are powerful kind of puts us in a position where the devs might not be thinking of nerfs anytime soon. The only reason I get this vibe for whatever reason is mostly due to the fact that the devs did mention what they're focusing on are fixing bugs and other quality of life things. They definitely want siege mode to run smoothly. Even though they clearly are buffing Absolute, right? So the fact that I think they went the route for buffing Absolute and they said themselves they're focusing on bugs, I just don't think they're too concerned with nerfs. I feel like the grenade launcher was kind of an outlier. Like 100% the grenade launcher was super powerful and definitely needed a nerf. But since then, we haven't seen anything too meaningful as far as nerfs go. And of course, they did mention not invigorating icon, intimidating aura. Intimidating aura is the bulwark perk where you get like an area of effect damage explosion for parries. They did mention that being OP, which is unfortunate. However, we did talk about that. The fact that the devs are adamant on adding, you know, terminus enemies and extra terminus enemies for Absolute and also buffing their health, I think that's the route they're going. Rather than nerfing stuff, I think they're just making terminus enemies stronger, which ultimately I think is the better play. I really hope we don't see any nerfs. The only reason I say this is because obviously we were talking about how strong tactical is, so I kind of just want to reiterate that I don't think he needs a nerf. I don't think anything needs a nerf, to be completely honest. As far as, you know, the game is getting a difficulty buff. That's the reason why I'm saying this, ultimately. So I hope we see Icon the same. I hope we see Intimidating Aura the same as we see it. And then Tactical, obviously Tactical, sure, Tactical has a lot of damage. Would I rather see Emperor's Judgment on a different class? I guess. But ultimately, it will be a good perk for leveling, even though it might not be very relevant to me at the moment because I have a Prestige 4 fully level tactical. And yeah, sure, I'll try out the perk on Siege mode. I'll likely try out Emperor's Judgment on Siege mode, and then also the Grenade Regeneration team perk on Siege mode. Yeah, Tactical is definitely one of my favorite classes. It was like one of my first classes, just for reference, that I fully leveled. But since then, I definitely got a lot of experience with other classes and started to enjoy those just a little bit more, just because in the sense that Tactical can be a bit plain in this, you know, you drop a scan, get extra damage. It is cool to see how much damage Tactical has, but yeah, what draws me to Tactical is the heavy bolt rifle. 100%, I love using that weapon. But yeah, there we go. The Emperor's Judgment ultimately is a nice perk. I would like to see it on other classes also. However, the Tactical seems to be the class that doesn't really appreciate it the most, which is kind of upsetting. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Tactical has a lot of damage. That's kind of like the gist. And yes, ammo regeneration is really hard to replace. And it's very good for sustaining your class because of contested health. But yeah, that pretty much covers everything about Tactical for patch 8, I guess. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. Definitely let me know in the comments if you think Emperor's Judgment should go to a different class. But yeah, ultimately, I do think it would be a useful leveling class. I will try it out in Siege mode. I do not expect to replace it. to be completely honest, I do not expect to replace, you know, ammo regeneration for extra damage on Tactical. That just seems silly. But yeah, again, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. And thanks for watching.